Let's manipulate some arrays. We already know that we can set the arrays up to initialize them like this, for example. No problem. We know about this. We're using regular elements, and we're also using keys. Keep in mind, even if we use keys, we can still reference these differently. So I'll show you that as we move forward. But in this particular video, we're going to talk more about how to change arrays after they've been set up and how we can sort the values in the buckets without having any problems. You can see this is how this page would look with all these little PHP snippets inside. Set up very nice and easy. And if we look at the sample here, you can see that the first table here is outputting 0 to 9, 10 elements, and you can see that they're not in numeric order. And that last one wasn't in place because we didn't actually set a value here. We could do that. It can be in quotes because we can interchange the two. Note that when you use character data in between the numbers, for example, it no longer becomes a number, so you can't convert it and use it in addition or something like that. But you can interchange it if it's numeric data. You can make it a string or a number, and it doesn't matter. We know that from the types, the introduction videos on working with different data types. So now we have it set at 11. But when you don't set it, it's actually going to be the empty string. No value. Just like that. Initializing it to nothing. Or you can just use it. Alright, so let's move further down. And you can see that we can actually change things just like any other variable. A normal variable would look like that. But an array needs to specify which element or key we're actually going to reference. And then you see $AR_values of 4 in brackets is equal to 999. That changes that value to 999. And then 7 could be changed to 998 in quotes. Just like I said, you can interchange. And 9 would then have a value of 997. So if we look, and this second one is representing that, 0 to 9, you see we have effectively changed these three values. Very easy to do that. Very easy. And use that as you want to. We'll see how to unset things and really do some great and fantastic things with arrays. Now we have the ability to sort as well. As you can see, we go from 0 to 9, and we've sorted this, so now it's in numeric order. But what happens with that is that now the numbers were just shuffled around. The keys remain the same, or the elements here actually remain the same, 0 through 9. But now the numbers have changed. So the assignment is now 0 is 17, where 0 before was 100, if you look at the very first one here. So the keys and the values can be represented differently in this regard. And that is using a function called sort. I'll show you that. And it looks exactly like that, except we pass in the array right in between. Same thing with a sort. We're going to sort, but this time it's going to keep the keys associated with the value. So in other words, b is equal to 200. The b element is always 200. When you a sort it, it's going to sort the data, but it's going to sort it in such a way that b is going to follow this. So we didn't output this in order. We output actually with the A, B, C, D, and E. But if we went through each of these, then we would see that it's actually in a full order here, meaning that the key here follows that value. If you look here at the top, you see that B was set first. So B is actually the 0 element there, and it's set to 200. When we sort it, A gets swapped here, 100 follows it, but it's actually the other way around. 100 is going to go into the first side here, and A, the key, is going to follow it. So it's reordered, moved around. We'll also look at how to shuffle as well. For a little bit more of a precise example here with the A sort, you can open up the A sort file, asort.php, within your working with arrays folder there. And you can see an example of when we A sort that at the bottom here. This is after sorting with the A sort command. C is 100, A is going to be 100, and it's going to order it based on the values here. And it's going to replace the order here, different than you're going to see here as I explained, because when we output this, we're actually outputting the different elements here, as I'll show you. This is before sorting here at the top, and here we have after A sorting. So those keys are going to follow the values and get shuffled around a little bit. So we'll go back and just see that this is going to be the same A sort here. And what we'll do is, back in Dreamweaver, you can see here that we have an A sort file, and it's the same data at the top, but down below we have a while loop here that's going to list the key value pairs as we've seen. For that AR values 2, we're just going to echo those values out. And this is the way that you're going to see how things are sorted, by using a while loop to go through each of those elements to display them. And then you see that this is what we're actually outputting in the example in the other file, in the manipulating arrays file. We're just putting in the actual key values here, so you're not actually going to see the A sort, because it's actually listing what the actual value is for that particular key. So you just want to make a note of that. And at the bottom here, we reset the array back to the beginning and do the while loop again for the array, and this is after we A sort it. And that A sort command is coming here right after we echo out the first list. Then we A sort it, then we list the key value pairs based on the key, so you won't see the sort, and then we list them out again, but this time we see the actual sorted output. And back in the browser here, we can see this is the successful A sort below. So you can take a look at that as you need to. And the code is going to be very good for traversing the list of array elements and values. And if we slide all the way down, you can see that we're using A sort to do that. And a regular sort is here with sort. There we go. Now, continuing, we can also sort something that has keys, but notice that if we do sort the second array that uses keys, it's going to actually change these two elements, and our ABC up to J, they're no longer going to have any data, as you can see here. When we try to reference those, they no longer have values here, where G, H, I, J before had values. Now it's going to be 0 through 9, and I show you the first 6 elements here, and you can see what happens. It reworks that array, and it now uses elements, and you can see that here. We sort the second array, so those keys are lost because it actually changes the keys. So that just gives you an idea. You can see what happens here. G, H, I, J no longer represented. We should use 6, 7, 8, 9. So just 2 different functions that you can use. If we look even further down, you can see that we can set elements to the empty string, like I said, or we can unset the whole array to unset the array. So we can unset elements, or just make the whole array equal to nothing. And there you see, that's where we set that value using another array. Because here we're reinitializing the array. Not a problem, you can do it again. Other languages might not allow you to do this, but you can do it in PHP, and it's very, very cool to do that. And then afterwards you can reference that C key and then pass the empty string, which sets it to nothing. And then you have to test to see if it's blank later, if you just want elements that have values. We'll see different ways to do that. And then if you want to unset a particular value here for F, you can do that as well. And we know about unset, it works the same thing with arrays. You can also unset the whole array. And then we just print out the array after we manipulate it, and you can see what the values are. Here at the bottom, A, B came first, A, D, E. There's no F here. I, C, J, H, and G. So we actually eliminated the F key and the value from the array. As you can see, F was going to be 300, but we unset it and it's gone. We would have to add it again, which you can do. You can also try other sorting methods. So you can just go out to php.net and actually see how these work if you need additional functionality. And if you look in the terms of the R sort, this is going to be a reverse sort, and then AR sort is that keeping the keys together, but it's doing it in reverse order, and others as well.